session is startups in gold and gold jewellery industry. The session is being chaired by Mr. Ketan, the director for Augmont-Gold. Our speakers are going to be Mr. Arjun Khazanchi of Rooba Finance, Mr. Veer Mishra, the founder of Plus Gold, Mr. Gaurav Rai is the director product management and engineering for Melorra.com, and Mr. Nishchay AG is the co-founder and CEO of Technologies Pvt Ltd. Now, the reason I said that we are pretty much saving the best for last pertains not only to the topic or the subject matter at hand, but it also is because we feel that in this session, our session's chairperson, Mr. Ketan Kothari's flair and skill as a moderator is going to be on full display, and I anticipate this to be a very, very interesting and entertaining session. So everyone brace up. Let me tell you a little bit more about him. So as a director for Augmont-Gold for All with an MA degree from Nottingham University, Mr. Kothari is a seasoned expert in finance and investments. He has been instrumental in the success of Augmont-Gold Tech Pvt Ltd, contributing to the vision, implementation and management of key initiatives. He is also a valued member of several steering committees. Mr. Kothari has provided crucial recommendations on gold and personal loan policies. His remarkable achievements were recognized in 2021 when he was honored as a BW40 Under 40 recipient by Business World. The other speakers joining him, Mr. Arjun Khazanchi of Rooba Finance is the CEO and co-founder of Rooba, a seasoned constitutional lawyer with extensive experience working with regulatory bodies like RBI and the Election Commission of India. He has been deeply involved in blockchain and cryptocurrency spaces since 2015. At Rooba Finance, he leads the digital asset management platform, providing financial infrastructure for asset tokenization, self-custody and trading. His work focuses on ensuring transparency, efficiency and regulatory compliance within the DeFi ecosystem. Mr. Veer Mishra, our next speaker, is a founder of Plus Gold, a visionary entrepreneur with over 10 years of experience in the field. As a founder of Plus, a pioneering gold savings app that enables users to save in gold for future jewelry purchases, Mr. Mishra has made a significant impact on industry. Plus gained national attention when it was featured on Shark Tank India Season 3, where it secured a lucrative deal from the investors. In addition to his entrepreneurial success, Mr. Mishra is a Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia honoree and a TEDx speaker, known for sharing his insights on building and scaling innovative products using AI and marketing. His journey is a testament to his dedication to innovation and excellence. Talking about startups that made an impact, especially on the gold ecosystem in India, Melorra is a name everyone knows today, probably the first brand to experiment with the just-in-time digital selling of gold, taking orders and delivering physical gold. Melorra actually created an entirely new success story. Today, of course, we have from Melorra, Mr. Gaurav Rai joining us. With this, we complete the lineup of all the speakers, we complete the lineup of chairpersons. As I invite Mr. Ketan Kothari to take over this session, we'd like to start by showing you a video to set the context for this session.
एक बड़ा घर, हर कार और
कॉफी प्लीज। आई नो सेविंग्स करनी है, पर कहाँ और किस में?
गोल्ड में करते हैं ना?
स्टॉक्स में करते हैं?
नहीं, गोल्ड में।
नहीं, कुछ सेफ। प्रॉपर्टी में?
नहीं, गोल्ड।
या फिर
एक्सक्यूज मी, कभी कभी अपनी दबंग बीवी की सुन लिया करो। गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट करो ना।
गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट? पर कहाँ?
प्लस गोल्ड ऐप पर यहाँ कोई भी अमाउंट गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट करो, फिर कैश, कॉइन या ज्वेलरी जैसे भी चाहो रिडीम करो। इन्वेस्ट नाउ। अब प्लस गोल्ड ऐप पर है असली सोना।
So what can you buy for ₹10 today? A cup of tea or a single samosa? What if we said that you could use a ₹10 to buy gold? That's right. You can buy gold for as low as ₹10 thanks to JAR. With JAR, you can save in small amounts every day and over time they can become big. The best part? You can withdraw your money anytime. Whether you are saving for goals like a new car or need money during an emergency. So how is JAR helping people every day?
मेरे 3 लड़कियां हैं, उनके लिए मुझे ये सेविंग करना है। एक लड़की के पीछे मेरे को 4 या 5 तोला यानी 10 ग्राम का एक तोला, तो ऐसा मुझे उनके लिए करके रखना है उसमें।
At some point in time, quitting my 9 to 5 and retiring early, I don't see myself working post I turn 40, 45. So I mean, all the investments are for that.
JAR helps more than 2 crore Indians save every day. JAR has been recognized by many regional and national news forums for its services. JAR also won awards like Best FinTech Startup at the Global FinTech Festival in 2022 and Best Wealth Tech Startup in 2023. So what are you waiting for? Start using the JAR app today and share this with your friends and family. Save your money today so your money can save you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. In the recent years, we have seen a lot of buzz happening in the startup ecosystem in our industry. Although the gem and jewelry industry is sometimes considered very boring, we have seen that a lot of innovation is happening. Whether you talk about product delivery innovation, for example, there are so many gold loan companies which have raised capital to give home-based gold loans, or you have jewelry companies which have started omni-channels who have raised large amount of money. Similarly, you have seen innovation in digital gold, which is enabling customers to save in lower amount of money, as low as 10 rupee or even 1 rupee, and then they are able to convert into jewelry or they are able to lease it. So all these are the innovations that's happening. There's disruption happening as well in our industry. We have seen so many players, especially in the diamond industry, looking up to all these new age companies which have started with lab-grown diamonds. So this is one segment which has caught the attention of everyone, and all the traditional companies are actually looking forward to what's happening in the startup ecosystem. And this, according to me, is a very interesting session because we have some of the pioneers of innovation in this industry. We have Melorra, we have JAR, we have Rooba, and we have Plus Gold. Thank you for coming. We have seen some very interesting videos. Unfortunately, we could not have Melorra's video playing, but obviously everyone knows about Melorra jewelry. What is that one thing that you are out to solve as a problem, and how are you able to raise capital, especially for this industry which is very age old, as we say? The question is open to all of you if you would like to answer, because you've been going to a lot of investors and obviously you've been answering the question about how and what problems are you trying to solve.
With Melorra in this space, as you said, the jewelry space in itself is very deep-rooted and traditional of that sort. But with this company, our thought and vision is to give jewelry back to people who are now on a very day-to-day travel and going to offices and that space. So the problem with jewelry, what we realized was majorly purchases were happening around festive seasons and weddings, which is, and those jewelries are very heavy jewelries per se. Now when you buy them and you either wear on few occasions and then you store it out. We wanted to break that chain, and that is where daily fine jewelries and lightweight jewelries which can go with Western attires. Right? The office-going crowd, which is the young professional crowd, is looking to match things as per their dressings, as per the trends that are going on. And that is where this company comes into picture.
We promised them a lot of Bitcoin, but that was just on a joke. On a serious note, we told them that with the way that the new economic framework for the new markets were playing out, it's better to design the future yourself than predict it and get disrupted eventually if you're going to play the prediction game. And we could show them a picture on how Bitcoin, the emergence of Ethereum with programmability of money, was set to disrupt a lot of the traditional functions, whether it was VCs, banks, traditional commodity players. That fear is one of the reasons why, to kind of ensure their own future, investors invested in us at that point.
The way we look at gold, see, gold is that, like in physics, gold shows duality. It's both particle and a wave. It's both a financial asset and is also a commodity at the same time. During COVID, we realized how fragile personal finances were, and people are not saving enough. And the existing products available in the market is not feasible or accessible easily for a common man. And common man, I mean, Indians have been saving in gold for millennia now. And we thought a fresh approach is required for this asset class, where we enable people to start saving on a small ticket basis, and you don't have to educate anyone about what gold is. So we thought gold is a right asset class to help people to get into the journey of financial well-being, and that's how we started gold savings. The beauty of it is people are, the best part about the gold is that people are happy when prices drop, and people are sad when prices go up, because whatever they already own, there's a sunk cost. They don't think that the 100 gram I have, which I bought at 4,000 rupees per gram, is now like 7.5 lakhs now. They think the next gram is going to cost me 7.5 thousand rupees. So people are sad when prices go up. So we felt this is the right asset class where you can give the confidence and the ease, and they feel that they know what they're doing. And that's how it worked for us.
So I think I started Plus Gold because I wanted to make my wife happy, right? So just before we were about to get married, we went to a store in Bangalore, HSR, where my wife was saving in this 10+1 scheme that most of the jeweler does, right? Unfortunately, we didn't like any jewelry there, but the only option we had was to buy a jewelry. We had no option to take withdrawal, right? And that kind of stuck as a problem in my mind, and I thought, okay, why can't we solve it with technology, right? Make users save in gold and let them redeem in the form of jewelry at any of the jewelers possible. And that is how our journey started, to make that 10+1 behavior very simple and flexible for the consumers.
No, but you guys must have definitely done something right for you all to raise such amount of money. Just to give a context, JAR has raised more than 400 crore rupees. Melorra has raised more than 600 crore rupees. These are large sums from any standards. But we have a question for the audience. We want to just take a funny take on this particular question. If we can have the first poll. What is the trick our panelists play to raise funds? Hypnosis, a move from ABCD, an anonymous phone call, or a promise to gift a gold-plated office? Nishchay, which one did you? Which is your trick?
Luckily for us, all the investments that we have raised so far has been in inbound. They clearly see how Flipkart took. It had to go through its own phase of ingestion, and then finally become big. Everyone felt the top 1% is banked enough, and the rest 99% is not banked enough. And gold is the ramp-up product through which you can get into their lives and expand. So far, all the investments that we have raised so far is completely inbound. I think they convinced me to take all that money.
No, but that's a great problem to solve. Gold is the ultimate way to enter into any Indian household. So we have the answers. It's a tie between a move from ABCD and a promise to gift a gold-plated office. See, this sector is a very old sector, a very boring sector for a lot of people. It's so matured. You know, everyone knows about gold and gem and jewelry. So there's nothing much to do. But still, for innovation to happen, for technology to be used, it's a big thing. What is the use of technology that you all were trying to do to disrupt this particular industry, which is already very, very matured, not only in India, but worldwide?
So for us, just to take a quick step back, the way that we saw it was the last 50 years was essentially defined by three large networking primitives with their own economic native kind of currency. Whether we saw the first ownership method in the internet, which was you could only read stuff on the internet. You couldn't exchange any financial value. All of the value exchange happened offline. Then you had the second, where you could read and write and publish things on the internet, the Facebook era, the YouTube era, where YouTube essentially subsidized the cost of hosting to create a network where people put in. You had digital banking, a lot of delays, a lot of inefficiencies. Then you had the third generation, which came in with blockchain, with faster internet connectivity, and with people looking for a new form of value exchange. And that's why we looked at blockchain as this new form of technology, which we could use the best principles from Bitcoin and then bring that for various asset classes, which had a lot of inefficiencies. So our core idea was, how do we make the economic proposition better for the customer while not diluting the economic incentive for the intermediaries? Because where a lot of blockchain platforms went wrong was they said, let's disrupt the intermediary, let's get rid of the intermediary. Why do we need it? The tech solves this. The tech may solve it, but regulations and trust is something that takes longer. That was our approach to the technology and why we chose blockchain specifically and how we went about our journey.
I think doubling down on that, tech solves for the ease of doing things in the back end, but the most crucial part for someone like Jar is tech is solving for the problem of distribution. It is taking out the brick and mortar from the equation and enabling the same quality and level of service that a tier 1 guy sitting in, say, something like Indiranagar or South Bombay or South Delhi kind of guy getting in the last town, last city. We have users across 11,000 pin codes. We have users in the last village of Kashmir to Lakshadweep to Andaman Nicobar, spread across, and we are able to deliver surveys and access to all products with just touch of a button. They can sit at the comfort of their couch and access to everything that, I mean, back in the days they used to say, right, Bade Shehron mein aisa hota tha. We have taken that Bade Shehron mein aisa hota tha to the last village of India.
For us at Plus Gold, what we realized very early was what has worked in the Web2 industry, right, is not going to get replicated in the gold industry. Jewelry e-commerce, a lot of people have tried and failed, right, because the same principles won't work here. So we wanted to replicate or rather create a phygital experience where, some people will save online, but still redeem their, beloved jewelry offline. And that is where the distribution tech comes into the play, where we have partnered with more than 120 jewelers, right, ensure that we are present in 500 cities, right. So that is where that distribution tech that we have created, right, is going to change the way people redeem these savings, right. And to give you an example, working with jewelers is difficult, right. They are not the most tech-friendly people, right. They want to stick to the basics, right. And working with jewelers has, it has made us understand what the end consumer actually is looking for. And that tech can only be built if you work with the users very closely, right? Understand from them their experience and then replicate that through technology and help them solve their problems.
So when we look at the jewelry industry part, if we take a closer look on the entire pipeline, so from the core design inception to creating that design, sending it to the CAD, sending it to the manufacturing, at every piece of this pipeline, there is a huge advantage to having a technology-driven environment on each of these pieces. Now, how fast can you create these designs? How trendy are these designs? How quickly can you rotate it? How can you ease up the entire supply chain process, right? Streamlining the ecosystem from this experience of a user when they are visiting a store versus when they are visiting an online website. How can you streamline these two to make sure that they don't feel something off when they actually visit a website and they then go to your store? So the experiences can be streamlined. In fact, a very crucial piece of this entire technology that is being used in the jewelry and as well as the precious metal is the traceability of it, and where in fact the blockchain is playing a very crucial role in terms of tracing and putting it that this is a safe procurement. This is not coming from a blood source and all these things. So technology is going to be a very key player wherever in the entire pipeline, wherever we see, right?
But what I understand is, say for example, Nishchay, most of your consumers are very small consumers who may have been buying gold for the first ever time, right? And you are enabling them to save every time they are doing transactions. Obviously, using technology makes it easier for you to reach to large number of customers. Similarly for Plus Gold, similarly for Melorra. Melorra, you also, for your also, the average purchase value must be what, around 15, 20,000 or 30,000?
Around.
So you are targeting the smaller customers more and more. And the use of technology is really helping you reduce down the cost of delivering those products to the end customers, right? So because a lot of people from our industry, they've been in the industry for years. For them, technology or investment in technology seems to be a question mark as to what extent can they go to. And a lot of them would want to collaborate with players like y'all, but they don't understand where the value addition can come from. So you know, this is where the whole play is, because the traditional players who are sitting on large balance sheets, who have large huge distribution, and startups who have very good technology, they can definitely become a pair to disrupt the market even better. What is your take on this?
See, I believe from a traditional player, there are plenty of cost that drives the entire price of that jewelry up. Now, I'll give you one example. When my parents or my sisters, they used to visit a store, they have a certain budget in mind, which sometimes they're hesitant to put out. What technology can do is they can give them a platform where without a judgment, they can put those filters up, look at those pieces, look at which nearest store this piece is available, and then go directly do that purchase, right? They don't need to express their budget and then be a little awkward, because honestly, not every retail frontline worker is as courteous as you want them to be, right? So there is a slight hesitance of judgment, and that comes into picture. So that lightweight, low cost in inventory, where you only manufacture when the orders are already placed, and all those things are giving us those margin play where we can reduce those costs and offer it to much more larger audience.
See, there is one difference. Is India is a peculiar country where you have a family doctor and you have a family jeweler. And the new generation, they are getting greater exposure at a greater pace, and for some reason they just simply don't want to mimic their parents. If my dad is using this particular brand of personal hygiene like shaving set, I don't want that. I don't want to look old school by using those things. Same thing will trickle down across every category, and the cost of access and cost of distraction is also pretty too high right now. So with technology, we can deliver a unified access where what we have done is we help people to save in form of gold on a daily basis. Millions of users save on a daily basis with us. We have given them a roadmap through technology very easily that you can start saving, you can save so much by this time, you can convert this into jewelry anytime you want. If you need of cash, you don't have to liquidate your gold. We give you loans as and when you require. We make sure that you are insured so that if something goes wrong with you or with your family or with your business or something, you don't have to sell your savings, you don't have to sell your gold. There is an insurance which will take care of you. That kind of holistic solutions, holistic problem statement that you're solving for is only possible with technology, and doing at that large scale and delivering the same quality of service throughout the country is the most crucial part. I personally believe jewelers are the last mile bankers in this country. They have been the backbone of middle class families' financial stability. But the newer generation is seeking different way, but the end of the day, the product is same. So you need different solutions to cater to them. That's what is technology helping us to achieve on a regular basis now.
Veer, when you are approaching all the jewelers to tie up with you, how do you get the jewelers to shift from traditional ways to your modern approach? And what is the promise that you gave them? Because it's very difficult to convince any jeweler to make changes into their daily operations. So how was your approach?
So I think just like Nishchay said, every family has a family jeweler. The problem with that process is today the average age of a consumer at a nearby jeweler is increasing rapidly, right? For some of the established brand is above 40 and above 50. Because the young customers are actually not walking into those stores. They're probably trying to go at the established brands, right? When we partner with the jewelers, we tell them that we will give you the access to the newer customers, the younger set of audience, the audience between the age group of 27 to 35, right? The premium spot where most of the people are in the journey of their life, where they're probably shopping for their marriage, shopping for their first kid. And that is where the journey of an Indian consumer starts with gold, right? So what we ensure to the user, jeweler especially, is that when you partner with us, you will get the visibility to the right set of audience, right? We ensure them that we send weekly reports to each of the jeweler that these are the users who have visited your profile. These are the users who have booked an appointment. This is their data. You can talk to them.
So basically you're convincing them that your sales will increase with that.
Exactly. Right. And I'll tell you an amazing story. One of the jewelers in Mumbai, right, started sending car to send for a pickup to the users who were booking an appointment through our app, right? And because of that, the conversion percentage increased, right? Those users may not have saved on my app, right? But they booked an appointment to that jeweler, right? And they went to that store and bought a purchase, right? And that is where the jewelers are happy, saying, yes, I am getting leads. I am getting visibility. My brand is getting visibility to a younger set of audience. And that is where, that is one of the KPI that we track with respect to jeweler performance, right? We get a lot of data from jewelers as well, right? But I think this is at the forefront, where they get the visibility to a younger set of audience.
That's interesting. So this brings us to the next question for the audience. If we can play the second poll. What's your preference? Physical gold, ETFs, sovereign gold bond, or digital gold? So majority of the audience still prefers physical gold, even in this particular room. Imagine the average housewife or the average family would obviously be preferring physical gold as well. But yeah, with the use of technology and with the use of platform, you are enabling the purchase of physical gold in a much better way. Nishchay, what are the challenges you're facing to make your customers use your platform? Because you're offering a lot of products. If you can just give the audience a brief in like a few seconds about exactly what are you offering on your platform besides just the digital gold.
Yeah, what we promise our users is, most of our users are young, anywhere between 20 to 40. They earn anywhere between 25,000 rupees a month to a 2 lakh rupee per month kind of. They're digitally native. They use all new age e-com platforms to food delivery apps to entertainment apps and everything. But at the same time, if you look at their financial inclusion, about 80% of them are new to credit, 90% of them are not invested in other asset classes, 92% of them are not insured. We are approaching new first-time audience. This is the first access to their serious financial asset class. So in the whole process, what we realized is it's not about making him trust me. It's more about making him trust himself. For example, if you catch hold of a random guy on the street and try to sell him an insurance copy and say he's convinced to buy insurance, but you give him a big booklet to sign in 100 different pages, he says, "Ghar jaake karunga," because he's not able to trust you. He's not able to trust himself that, am I signing the right documents? But if he really knows what he is buying, he will end up buying. It's about instilling that confidence, giving that all the information necessary, building that micro engagement within the app through which you instill that confidence so that he starts saving. And it's also about celebrating the milestones with him on a regular basis. We on an average, a user from the time he installs to start investing is roughly about 1 minute 17 seconds. We're able to win the user trust in that.
That's quick.
And then that's about 30,000 new users every day. That's what we are adding on an average right now. And apart from that, the second challenge that we have to constantly look out for is, how do you, see, my users are very young, and there are two types of cash flow challenges comes in your 20s and 30s. 20s is small ticket size cash flows. 20th of the month, you're out of cash. Your next paycheck is 30th. How do you manage those 10 days? Or say you're running your own small business, 15 days bad business, your crunch, cash flows are stuck. So it's immediate temptation is to take out your savings. Second is in 30s, it's all big ticket. Shadi hua hai, ghar lena hai, car lena hai, upgrade your home, build one more room on top of your home so that you can live with your wife there and all of those things. How do you meet those financial needs? If you lay out a journey for him, that this is the place where you can start your savings. If you are in need of cash, we will take care of that need. And if you are in need of insurance, is something that we educate over a period of time. I don't have to rush when it comes to insurance. And other thing is, when it comes to jewelry, right, we enable our consumers to convert their savings into jewelry. We launched our own jewelry brand about 7 months back, growing at about 300-400% month on month right now. And what we realized is, in case of any other platform, there is an urgency that needs to be solved for. That is, if a user searches for, say, wedding rings or something like that, you have a very short window of attention from him. If he gets a phone call, if he's watching IPL, someone hits a 6, is distracted, now you don't know when he will come back again. With us, he has a sunk cost. He's saving with us, and I can take all the time in the world to convert him. So that gives us the kind of peace. So it's, I need to solve only for 0 to 5 days. After that, the product has a sunk cost in it, which solves for itself.
That's very interesting. It brings us to the next question for the audience. It's about the preference that people have when it comes to choosing, purchasing their jewelry. Where do they go to? Is it the organized national retail chains, or your boutique neighborhood jeweler, or a family jeweler, or an online jeweler? This is extremely interesting because you have the most organized players on the top and the oldest segment of the jewelry industry being the second.
So personally, what I feel is both the previous question and this question is we are asking the wrong audience. This is the 0.1 percentile of the country is sitting here.
But then they should have been choosing more of online jewelers.
No, they want the physical touch and feel. No doubt about that. If the audience was way too younger, I'm myself 40.
Sure.
If it was all 20s guys, they would have, it's like no cap, I will do it on my couch. But a common man, he wants to step in. No one is taking away a family jeweler's business for a very long time. Sure. I myself come from family of jewelers. I know the madness that goes through in our stores on a regular basis.
Also, the ticket price of online.
The ticket price is
not for this crowd.
So, Arjun, the concept of tokenization of gold is obviously not an easy concept to explain to anyone. It takes time. So how do you explain this in a much easier way without using any jargon, especially in a country where even the regulations are complicated when it comes to tokenization of gold?
Tokenization essentially on its core principle is not very different from dematerialization. It's conversion of any physical asset into a digital form. The difference is that now it's done on a different technology stack known as the blockchain, which is a better database. All of you are familiar with the databases that you're using. They're all inefficient compared to this newer technology or a newer database technology, essentially. That's the fundamental difference between digital gold, let's say, and a tokenized gold. It's essentially the same thing. We're both storing it with a vault manager. We're using the deposit receipt that we're getting from that, and we're digitizing this gold. Both can't be, sold at the same time. It's just a better technology, where traditional dematerialization is static and in terms of the things you can do with it. Blockchain is much more dynamic. You can create new financial products using the blockchain. You can enter into peer-to-peer trading. You could do away with physical actual market makers. There are market makers who are present in front of their screens today trading large lots of gold. You could automate the entire process, and it is already being done today. Today, almost $1 trillion of cryptocurrency is settled using just 20 lines of code using automated market makers. So it's just a newer underlying technology for the same dematerialization, just a better tech.
And I believe you are doing a pilot with the Gift City as well, right?
Yes, we're doing a lot of pilots currently. Our idea was that let's partner with all of the financial institutions. Let's not go directly to the customer because of the nature of blockchain technology, the gray areas of the regulation. And we worked with financial institutions to do various projects and pilots where we realized that the regulations were problematic as they stand today. We went to Gift City to seek exemptions under the Innovation Sandbox scheme. Another interesting pilot that we're also a part of, shameless pitch, we're part of Bank of International Settlements, Finternet project as well, where we're working and helping create a lot of new infrastructure on this technology along with the likes of leading thought leaders in the space such as Nandan Nilekani as well.
That's very interesting. Gaurav, there's a lot of interesting things happening worldwide when it comes to the lab-grown diamond jewelry. Obviously, none of the large players in India have entered this space. I'm sure you all also must be contemplating a lot, talking a lot about what exactly is going to be the future of diamond jewelry in India. What is Melorra's take on the future of diamond jewelry in India when compared to the lab-grown diamond jewelry?
See, as you rightly said, we have been thinking about getting into the space or not, because we already have the traditional diamond stones on our platform. So either it has to be segregated in terms of the customer should not feel that there is which one to buy when they come to the platform. So they, how do we pitch it and how do we go about making this? It has definitely been a discussion point for a long time, and especially see the lab-grown diamonds. What it has done is it has given every member a choice of a bigger stone at a lower price range, right? And with that, awareness about the stone also needs to be spread around for regular consumers. Now, currently, the lab-grown diamonds are more popular with industry folks. Like they know, people involved in this industry know about this. People who are very educated, they know about this. But not every household is very aware that this is, they still go about nakli hai kya? Why is it so low cost? Right, so to break that stigma, it will take some time. But us as a company, it's a little on that edge to decide.
It's a chicken and egg situation for a lot of people.
Right, right.
So that brings us to our next question. This is the last question for the audience. It is, what is the perception or what do you think as will happen by 2030? Will most of Indians end up buying lab-grown diamond jewelry, or will they'll still continue buying naturally mined diamond jewelry? So it's almost 60-40. 60% of the people feel that India will move to lab-grown diamond jewelry.
There's an interesting documentary called as Nothing Lasts Forever.
Yeah.
Right? And we should watch that. I mean, like, that clearly says, like, you know, even before LGDs were introduced to the general market, 50% of the diamonds that were sold were LGDs. And they
got all mixed up.
Right? And the problem with this is, like, you know, so as a marketer, like, you know, what I think of it is, like, you know, a biologically, naturally born baby versus a test tube baby. No one will market themselves as that I own a lab-grown diamond, right? Yeah. It's about pride, right? When it comes to diamonds, right? So sentimentally, no matter what we say, like, you know, Indians will prefer, if they want to buy diamond, natural diamonds, right? And whoever is trying to save on cost, right, will probably buy lab-grown diamond and then still say it's a natural diamond.
So that brings us to the last question. Obviously, whatever you all are trying to build, whatever you all are trying to create, there must be lots of hindrances, challenges, pain points. Which is the one biggest pain point for each one of you, if you can answer, and then we can quickly take a couple of questions from the audience.
We actually have two, and traditionally what we've seen is the two are actually interlinked thanks to lobbying and policy. Regulations is the biggest hindrance.
But trust me, regulations is an issue for each one of us here.
But it's also fueled with another problem, which is the current economic incentives, which are fueled by the inefficiencies in the market. If blockchain technology and tokenization were to come up with the vision that we're building, and it will eventually, we do see a lot of economic incentives which are built on the inefficiencies in the market being taken away. So that's why there are a lot of players today who are jumping ahead of the curve, who some of them are in this room itself, who are viewing that, those economic incentives becoming thinner and thinner, and they're trying to disrupt from the product side as well. So that's how we see it. So once those economic
regulations is one of the biggest challenges.
Regulations.
So for us, there are two, as I said, two factors for us also. One is the primary business model where we let users choose and then we make the jewelry in some days. That holds back a lot of customers, because when they come to purchase, they are already in that mode that I want this. Right?
Especially in an age when 10 minutes mein sab kuch deliver ho
10 minutes mein Blinkit pe chahiye, right? So we have seen our competitors coming on to Blinkit and everything that's getting delivered. But that is one part where you lose out on a customer segment who want it immediately. Second is the choice, the customer who wants to feel it, right? We cannot be present at every nook and corner of the country, right? So the touch and
touch
feel
and feel
factor of the
factor.
jewelry, because you are not buying something of 10 rupee, 20 rupee. The moment you call it gold, they want to see it, they want to feel it, how big is it. In 10,000, the jewelry should be bigger, heavier. So that feeling of the physical touch
Is the main point.
is the main factor. Yeah.
For you, Nishchay, Veer.
I think the biggest problem that we are solving, I don't think it's an industry challenge. We are still very fresh to industry to identify industry challenges. You need to grow. I mean, the industry is so old. Most of the problems are already solved by you folks, at least for me to experience. My challenges are, we are targeting the entire India. For me, entire India. Probably 600 million is my actual addressable market. So it's very diverse. How do I build localization to the extent where every time an app user opens, someone in Kolkata opens the app in October, it should be around Durga Puja. Someone opens it right now in Mumbai, it should be around Janmashtami. If someone is opening in Kerala in 2 months down the line, it should be themed around Onam. It's about...
That's very interesting. And this can happen only with technology.
And at the same time, how do you build that intelligence? How do you build that sensitivity into the product? That's the kind of problems that we are solving. I think the underlying asset class, most of the problems, I think there are enough people solving for those things. I think my expertise, or I don't even have the expertise to solve, but at least our expertise comes in solving for the problems related to the consumer. How do you build distribution? How do you build stickiness? How do you increase average ticket size per user per day? Because we clock millions of transactions. In fact, we are the #1 merchant on UPI network. We clock highest number of transactions, even more than the likes of Swiggy and Zomatos and all of those things. So for us, even if everyone decides to save 50 paisa more, it's a couple of kgs more per day. So
Surendra bhai, this is a matter of pride for us because our industry is clocking more transactions than food.
Yeah. So for us, it's about all the problems that we are solving, all the challenges that we have is customer facing.
I think to add to that, like, as a founder, like, while I take care of product, I am now more hands-on on customer success, right? I ensure that I at least take 10 to 15 calls every day with my customers, because what we are building is a solution for few, but to ensure that they have the right experience, right? I am happy if I can, make one customer happy a day. And that is what I do. For example, if you open the app anytime and if you click on support, the message that comes to me, right? If I don't answer, then the team answers, right? So, what I ensure is, I get to see the problems firsthand, and then comes the next challenge, which is solving those problems for the consumers, because most of the consumers have basic problems. यार मेरा UPI ID मेरे PAN से match नहीं हो रहा, but I need a withdrawal, right? So knowing these problems eventually helps us to figure out कि हाँ ठीक है इसको solve कैसे करना है, right? But my first step is to understand कि what problems consumers are facing, and that's the biggest task that I have taken for myself.
That's very interesting. Recently, there was an interview of Zepto, and Adit said that sometimes I have delivered to the customers to just see what the experience is. So we have some questions from the audience. Do we have time to take all 3 questions? Is Plus Gold similar to jewelry plans offered by traditional jewelry businesses? If no, what is the edge for a customer to move to Plus Gold?
Actually, a nice question, because we are competing with the jewelry schemes. We don't compare us with other platforms, right, that are offering digital gold. We compete with the like of Tanishq Golden Harvest or Kalyan Savings Scheme, right? So the only difference that we have is when you save with us, you get a similar return, but you are free to choose any of the jeweler that you want, right? And I think that creates a unique advantage for the end consumer. While you get to see the same returns, right? You get to experience the same kind of discounts at the jeweler, and yes, your gold grows 5% per year, so yeah.
Is the customer metal holding audited by an external auditor? Nishchay, you want to take this?
Yes, we have the way a mutual fund house sets up their entire operations. There's a custodian, there's a vaulting partner, there's a clearing house, there's a trustee. We ourselves don't have access to that gold without all 3 players present, and it is audited twice every week physically to the serialization, to everything is done. And at the same time, these audit reports are available on our websites for everyone to check on a regular basis. Apart from that, as you was telling, that's what we are also doing. We enable people to save, and we let them convert jewelry with us itself, because we are the final manufacturer of our savings product. We deliver the jewelry ourselves.
That's interesting. The last question I think is very similar to the same question. I think whatever you sell is stored in vaults, right? That's what the last question is. I think that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you so much, Veer, Nishchay, Arjun, and Gaurav. Thank you.